many middle-class Latinos in San Jose who benefited from city growth and from suburbanization. After years of deliberation and planning, it was decided the event would take place in June 1969. But many residents, especially Chicano youth and barrio residents of San Jose's east side, disapproved of the event. Many working class Mexican Americans viewed the event as imperialist or Eurocentric, and as promoting white and Spanish history of the city that ignored the many social and economic problems impacting Latinos in the city, county, and the country. Middle-class Mexican Americans in San Jose, like Juarez, promoted the revival of the fiesta, but many Chicano students at San Jose State University asked Mexican Americans in the city and the county to boycott the event. While members of the Mexican American Student Confederation at San Jose State falsely claimed that no Mexican Americans were on the planning committee, they were correct in pointing out that the city-sponsored parade ignored major socioeconomic problems facing the Mexican American community, especially poor housing, high unemployment, and inadequate educational opportunities. Here you have two images of what some of the neighborhoods in San Jose's east side looked like in the late 1960s. So while other areas in the western and southern parts of San Jose were being developed with a lot of attention from city council, the east side had been annexed, but had been largely ignored with regards to providing social services and infrastructure. So here on the left, right, you see children kind of playing in an unpaved kind of area next to a sewer. And then on the right here, you have Mexican Americans from the community actually building their own sidewalks because the city was not building sidewalks for them. The students took more direct action than just imploring that Mexican Americans avoid the event. They actually attempted to suspend it entirely by suing the city for appropriating over $31,000 of the city budget to cover expenses. One student article claimed that the city spent upwards of $300,000 towards the celebration, and that many of the area's over 100,000 Mexican Americans were without adequate housing and other important social and economic benefits currently enjoyed by San Jose's other 300,000 citizens. In fact, many of these underserved Chicanos made up the bulk of Mexican American membership in community groups like United People Arriba, the Community Alert Patrol, and the Black Berets, who organized to combat socioeconomic issues in their east side and downtown neighborhoods. Many Mexican American and Chicano organizers who worked to address socioeconomic issues in their neighborhoods had a vested interest in protecting and improving the spaces where they lived. San Jose's suburbanization in its south and west ends decentralized the city and created more segregation. Latinos experienced the largest negative impacts of segregation with issues like poverty, police brutality, poor education, and affordable housing at the forefront of civil rights issues. However, like suburban middle-class homeowners in the county and the city who shielded their communities from undesirable neighbors and societal elements, Latino working class urbanites in San Jose also owned homes and wanted to live in good neighborhoods. By the early 1970s, it was estimated that 55% of Mexican American residents of Santa Clara County owned their homes, while 44% who lived in the region were renters. As a way of showing their opposition to the Fiesta de las Rosas, Chicano students, Mexican American homeowners, and some community organizers gathered at the event in protest on June 1st, 1969. Most protesters congregated at the corner of First and Santa Clara Streets, awaiting the parade. Police had been informed of the presence of demonstrators who might disrupt the event and were sent to prevent disturbances. It still remains unclear how the violence started, but eventually Mexican American demonstrators were beaten and arrested. Protesters, in an attempt to protect themselves, hurled chairs and other items that soon littered the streets. The scuffle between police and demonstrators lasted about 15 minutes, with officers chasing protesters for 2 blocks along the parade route. When the confrontation ended, there were about 17 Chicanos who were arrested, 3 were hospitalized, and several others had suffered minor injuries. It was estimated that somewhere about 75,000 people attended the event, and roughly only about 100 of them were protesters that represented some 35 Bay Area Chicano organizations. Police claimed that they were attacked and were therefore forced to initiate riot procedures. Chicano demonstrators, on the other hand, claimed that the police overreacted and began attacking them unprovoked. Widespread news reports of the Fiesta de las Rosas presented the event as a ruckus, violent event, highlighting the clash between Chicanos and Mexican Americans against police officers. The reports also provided a voice to protesters, explaining their charges that the celebration purposely overlooked or watered down the violence and subjugation that occurred with the Spanish conquest of indigenous peoples during the colonization of the Americas and California. The violence and use of force against the Chicano protesters during the fiesta reflected deep-seated beliefs and understandings of race in San Jose. The event helped solidify stereotypes of ethnic Mexicans as criminals who needed to be controlled, and contributed to a clouded vision of ethnic Mexicans that was held by elected officials. Reporting of the event essentialized ethnic Mexicans in the city as troublemakers, essentially. However, reporters missed the internal class struggle within the ethnic Mexican community in San Jose and Santa Clara County. While a larger number of Mexican Americans and Chicanos voiced their opposition to the fiesta because of its celebration of Spanish oppression and its disregard for struggles of poor people in the city, there were also middle-class Latinos who supported the event as a way to improve the image of the city as a whole and attract business back to the downtown area. People like Luis Juarez viewed the fiesta as a positive